action. It's happening everywhere, but it's not conscious. It's being driven by forces that are unconscious, by the evolving intent and the history of all the formations that have come out of the evolving intent for billions and billions of years, and for humanity for at least 200,000 of those years. It has been an unfolding that determines how we act, how we shouldn't act, what we should do, what we shouldn't do. We determine in this organization of civilization, what do we restrain from our tribal conditionings, from our ancestral cave dwelling conditionings, from our primitive village conditionings. We go beyond those limitations, and we start organizing ourselves by restraining certain qualities and developing other qualities. These actions, the ones that move from one group of actions to the next group of actions, is a reflection of the inherent change in consciousness behind the action. That human beings of all species have the ability to take the kind of actions we're talking here. That is, new actions, actions outside of the boundary of the programming, our own programming and the collective programming, actions that originate from a different source. So when we look at the nature of yoga, yoga is a set of actions we take with our consciousness, with our mind, with our bodies, with our speech, with what we take in, what we learn. All these are actions that arise from a purpose for something to manifest that is not yet manifest. So when you look at the Gita, it's the manifestation of the path of those actions. So yoga is both an action, a purposeful action, and an expression of the Dharma that motivates the action. And the Dharma of yoga is to be that which is merged with the object of yoga. The Dharma of yoga is to bring up the inherent possibility of being a yogi by taking actions aligned with that purpose. And those actions are then the Dharma, the path that takes you to that state of consciousness. So when we're talking about actions, we're talking about other actions than the ones we normally take in our normal course of life, even the actions that we take in our spiritual path that are routine or familiar, or what we do just in the process of the own unfolding. Rather, it is in those moments where we choose to take a new action. Choose to not go and take the action of an impulse or an inclination that we know does not serve, and instead choose an action that's aligned with that which serves. Because what chooses, what in you makes that choice? What in you carries that capacity to intelligently say, no, not this, yes, this? What is that? That's the Supreme itself. That's that thing we're talking about, that original intent living you. That is the one that makes something new out of old. And that is the transmutation. That is the redemption. That is the healing. That is the resolving. That is the completion. Because when you take those actions, you leap. And when you leap, all those things lose their authority because you attend to a new reality that's become available to you. Therefore, when we speak of action, that's what we're speaking of. Creation. A new creation. When we take action not based on our old programming and conditioning, we take an action that perhaps there's no initial listening for, where there's no agreement for, where it's contrary to what everybody else around you or even your old self. Those are the actions we're speaking of.